Hello all you lovely people and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing SENUA'S SAGA HELLBLADE II on my PC. Yes, I was playing this on my PC. I did also play this on my Xbox Series X, but here I am sharing the gameplay of my time on the PC. Now, if you notice the screen, I was playing this mostly on 1440p with Intel's XeSS. Now, when I was playing this on 1440p, I could dial it up to, say, quality or balanced mode. But I also tried taking the resolution up to 4K. And when I took it up to 4K, I had to dial down the graphical settings to medium or low. And I was still playing this with XeSS, but on performance or on ultra performance to get a bare minimum of 30 FPS. Now, in 1440p, I definitely was getting more juice out of the game if I took the the graphical settings down to medium, then I was able to squeeze out close to 40 FPS. And if you're playing this on a screen of 120 FPS, then you would understand that 40 FPS on a 120 FPS screen, that is a 120 Hz monitor or a TV, looks really smooth. Now, as far as playing this on the Xbox Series X goes, there was only one option there. That is playing this in 30 FPS. Therefore, I found myself playing this game on my PC over the Xbox. Now, I know a lot of people may have this argument, or they may have this belief that this game looks more cinematic when you play this in 30 FPS. I do not disagree with that. And it is a very narrative heavy game where a story is being told. There's a lot of walking, by the way, if you haven't already known from the various comments, from the various reviews that you may have already seen on YouTube. So there's a lot of walking and there is a lot of story being told. For a game like that, yes, I would not deny that 30 FPS is fine. But I just wanted to really find the buttery smoothness of Unreal Engine 5, and therefore I chose to play this game on the PC because I wanted more. I wanted more than 30 FPS. So that was my choice. And for reference, the laptop that I was playing this game on was my Asus ROG Strix G15 Advantage Edition from 2021. Yes, it has the RX 6800M, which is a dedicated 12 GB graphics card. And even with the RX 6800M, because this game is really demanding, well, it was barely giving me the 30 to 40 FPS unless I dial these settings down. As you can see on screen, that's why I'm sharing this bit before I even get into the game and give my 2 cents about the game. So as you can see, I tried out everything. I tried out AMD's FSR 3. I tried it in all the modes available. That is ultra performance, performance, balanced, quality, native, and even when it comes to Intel's XeSS, I tried all the settings that were available. And I think the best solution for my particular PC, because this is not a high-end PC, this is mainly now in 2024 a 1080p or a 1440p laptop. So for my machine, I think the best setting that I could settle on was Intel's XeSS in 1440p in low or medium settings. And there I was getting, say, about close to 40 FPS, which looks buttery smooth on a TV which gives 120 Hz refresh rate. And personally to me, this game looked fantastic in this particular setting. Now, the Xbox Series X definitely does not have so much of aliasing, but the image overall looks softer, is what I can say about the experience on the Xbox Series X. And also the fact that it only runs 30 FPS is or was an issue to me. So I did play around 30 minutes to 40 minutes on my Xbox Series X, but then I switched back to my PC because I just like the PC experience more than the Xbox Series X experience. So as you can see, now that I've shown you so much here, I've gone through all the settings, and trust me when I say this, the one biggest challenge of playing this in AMD's FSR 3.0 for me visually was when you pan the camera around. When you pan the camera around, there is a shimmering effect. And I've spoken about the same effect when I made a video on Robocop's game as well. It was the same issue. You see how I pan the camera around and you see the ground is shimmering as if you literally have stars instead of sand on the seashore. Therefore, I switched over to Intel's XeSS, and whether I did it on quality or balanced or on performance mode, the shimmering's gone. And this setting to me worked the best. And I tried a lot of permutation and combination. As you can see right at the start of the video, I chose to start with that before I even get into talking about the game. So far, I've just gone on about the settings of this game for over 5 minutes. And if you have a similar configuration, or if you have a low end spec on your PC, then you may want to try this as well and let me know what your thoughts and experiences. Now, I did try to play this with lossless scaling as well. The lossless scaling experience gives me more FPS, but what I noticed is that there are a lot of specular, grainy kind of an effect when you play this game with lossless scaling. I mean, that happens on almost all the games that you play with lossless scaling turned on, but on this game, it kind of just got boosted up a little more. Especially the edges of the characters would look very, very specular and very grainy when you play this with lossless scaling. So although I started playing this with lossless scaling, and I in fact even made a video on that on my channel, you can check that out, but I ended up turning lossless scaling off for this particular game. Again, this is a very demanding game and it literally juices out everything that your PC throws at it. But having said that, this game is a visual masterpiece. Is the game a masterpiece as well? That's what we're gonna find out. So this is my review of Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, and now that I've spoken about the setting so much, let's finally jump into it and let me share my 2 cents about this game. Now, Ninja Theory returns with a bang for Senua's Saga, but does the sequel surpass its predecessor, or is it just a haunting echo of the past? It definitely pushes the graphical envelope, as you can see. I mean, environments are meticulously crafted. From the windswept plains of Iceland to the towering Gothic structures, even facial animations, they capture every nuance of Senua's emotions, making a journey all the more impactful. The voice acting is stellar, the motion capture is brilliant, technology for gaming is at its peak when it comes to this. In fact, it looks like a technical showcase in a lot of places. And the game masterfully utilizes sound design to create a truly immersive experience. The ever-present voices of the Furies are more chilling than ever, and the environmental soundscapes, they bring this world to life. I will recommend that you play this game with a pair of headphones, not earphones, I would say headphones. Just get a pair of headphones and don't avoid that. Play this game with a pair of headphones because that is going to make a world of a difference. Why? Because Senua's struggle with psychosis, it remains central to the narrative, and the voices of the Furies, they seem so much different when you have your headphones on your head. The hallucinations, the distorted reality, they're even more visceral than in the first game. So this can be both a strength and a weakness depending on player sensitivity because it is a sensitive subject at the end of the day. Now, while the first game focused on personal grief, Hellblade 2 tackles broader themes of war, of trauma, of societal prejudice. The narrative is more ambitious, but it can feel less personal at times because there are more characters introduced here. Even on screen, towards the later part of the game, you would have supporting characters with you on screen. The first game was a very personal experience. You only had Senua that you spent time with, but in this game, you have supporting cast, you have supporting characters, like Thorgester, who's on screen. He is a good guy, by the way. I mean, spoilers, if you didn't already know that. Well, the combat itself is brutal and it's impactful, but it remains relatively simple, very familiar to the first game. They serve more as a metaphor for Senua's inner struggles than a complex combat system. So there's nothing new, there's nothing complex. This is not an RPG, so you don't have weapon upgrade systems. You don't have gear that you acquire or that you upgrade over time. And while some may crave more depth, like from an RPG, this game it stays true to the first game's vision. Again, combat just serves more as a metaphor for Senua's inner struggles. I would just like to emphasize on that point. Apart from that, there are environmental puzzles as well. Throughout the world, you will run into puzzles that tie into Norse mythology. There are stories that are being told about Norse mythology, just like the first game. And they offer a welcome change of pace, but they can feel a bit repetitive at times. Apart from that, I also want to talk about the soundtrack because the soundtrack, apart from the visual fidelity that this game offers, the music, the soundscape is brilliant as well. And in fact, I would say not just is this a visual masterpiece, but the soundtrack is also a masterpiece because it perfectly complements the atmosphere and the narrative of the game. It seamlessly blends traditional Nordic music with unsettling soundscapes, creating a truly haunting soundscape overall. And the ending is a little bit ambiguous, and I'm gonna get to that because I want to talk about it towards the end. And overall, I would say this is a visually stunning game. I mean, a visual masterpiece. And it builds upon the foundation of the first game, and it's got even more impressive visuals given the fact that this harnesses the power of Unreal Engine 5, and the gameplay loop is familiar, very similar to the first game, and it's a slightly less personal narrative. And therefore, fans of the first game may not exactly like this because this game opens up a little bit more. The first game was very personal. This is not as personal as the first one, so it may not resonate with everyone that have loved the first game. But it is definitely a very powerful and thought provoking game that pushes the boundaries of storytelling. It pushes the boundary of atmospheric storytelling, I would say. And it may not be a perfect sequel, but it's definitely a worthy successor that will stay with you long after the credits roll. But all is not rosy. And I do have some issues with the game that I do want to talk about as well. Let's start nitpicking now. And I'm literally saying nitpicking because I think it is nitpicking. One of the first few issues that I have with this game, not exactly an issue, but I have a complaint because I was looking for more out of this world, more out of these new characters that we are introduced to in this game. And right when you know it, smack in the middle of that, the game ends. And that I think is my biggest complaint with this game. I know a lot of other YouTubers have spoken about this as well, and that holds true, by the way, that this game ends abruptly. I mean, it builds up something, and there's this kind of a crescendo that keeps up building, 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 and poof, it falls flat towards the end. So I agree with a lot of YouTubers that have shared similar comments about this game's ending, and I'm with them on that. But is this game a short game? I disagree with that because, look, I played 13.9 hours and I took my time with it. So, because I was also trying to enjoy the scenery that was before me. So, just take maybe another hour and a half away from that almost 14 hours experience. So, even if I consider 12 hours, it's not bad. I mean, given the fact that this is a day one release on Xbox Game Pass, I have nothing to complain about. This is a day one release, free, or rather included, free is the wrong word, included in Xbox Game Pass. Now, if you don't have Game Pass, then it's a different story because paying $50 for it, I don't think it's worth $50, but it's definitely worth around $30. I would say that. Now, this game focuses on quality over quantity, and I have no problems with that because even in the past, I made a review on Evil West as well. You can check it out on my other channel. It's on the other channel, not on this channel of mine. But when I played Evil West, I think I was able to squeeze out almost 12 to 14 hours of gameplay from Evil West as well. It was not a very long game, but it was a very enjoyable game. The gameplay was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. In fact, It was very Gear-esque, like Gears universe game, but at the same time, it had this fun element to it. So it was between Outriders and Gears. I really enjoyed Evil West, although it was only for 12 to 14 hours. But a game can be enjoyable even if it's short. And I did enjoy my 12, or in this case 13.9, 14 hours, you could say, of this game. I enjoyed it because of what I was seeing in front of me. This pushes the envelope of game development. It shows you the potential of what we are looking into when it comes to games in the future. It gives you that peek. This is a trailer of what's to come in the future. And I'm really excited about it. Every single pixel on this game oozes of detail. The rocks, the pebbles on the seashore, they have depth. Even in terms of the volume, the mass, the height, there's a height depth as well. So it looks and feels truly 3D. It feels like this world is drawing you into it. It is so immersive. The lighting effect that they've used in this game is absolutely brilliant. The water, the ripples on the water, the waves hitting the shore, and then the small little freckles of water particles that come out of it. I mean, it's that detailed. It is insane. The facial expressions, they are insane. This is photorealism that has now been captured in gaming, and I think the performances, they deserve a special mention. And overall, the art direction, the sound direction, and the visual presentation of this game is all top notch. And that's what my complaint is about. I mean, it's so good. It's so good that when it ends, you're like, I want more. So, that is what you will be left feeling towards the end of the game. At least that's what I felt towards the end of this game. So that's what I meant by, the ending of the game. And I've given my 2 cents about the ending as well. So I feel like I wanted more out of this universe, this game, this world of Senua with the new characters. And right when you are expecting more, the game ends. So that's my biggest complaint with the game. I don't have complaints about the length of the game because I will choose quality over quantity anytime. Instead of giving a game which is useless, you even spend 50 to 100 hours in a game which does not have a rich story to tell, great characters, fantastic music? I mean, I wouldn't personally spend time on a game like that for 50, 60 hours. But yes, I would spend 12 hours, and all of my 12 hours will be glued to the screen, looking at every single corner of the screen to experience this game as the game developers wanted you to. So, for that, kudos to the game developers. And this is definitely a game which is a visual masterpiece. So, let me give you a quick breakdown for different audiences, like I always do in most of my review videos. Now, if you are fans of the first game, then you will find a more visually stunning and thematically ambitious experience, but the core gameplay loop, that remains similar. If you're a newcomer to this world of Senua, then be prepared for a very mature and potentially disturbing exploration of psychosis. And for those seeking deep gameplay, the focus here is on narrative and atmosphere, with combat, puzzles playing a secondary role. So you don't have those deep RPG elements here. You don't even have a compass here, for God's sake. So it's a very different kind of a game. It's an experience that you have to try out on your own. And if you're looking for that visually stunning and emotionally impactful game that tackles these complex themes, then Hellblade Senua's Saga is a must play. Just be prepared for a challenging journey into the depths of the human mind, but apart from that, I very easily can recommend this game. Number one, because of the visual masterpiece that it is. Number two, because of the fact that this is a day one release on Xbox Game Pass. What more can you ask for? It's included with Game Pass, so you don't have to pay anything extra. But would I pay $50 for this game, which is around 10 to 12 hours long? Personally, I wouldn't. I would probably wait for a discount. Even if this game was at $30, I think it's well worth that $30 in my personal opinion. Now, what are your thoughts about Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga? Do let me know in the comments section. If you feel that I've missed out on anything, you can let me know about that as well. I enjoyed this game, and I hope you have as well. We can share our experiences through the comment section, so please keep commenting. And if you have liked this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button, and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. Sharing this video also helps with the YouTube algorithm, so I would greatly appreciate it if you share it with your gaming friends and family members. With that said, it's a wrap for this one. I'll see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.